good. This is Adam Green. Me. And you're watching, listening, or jerking off to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror. I have no idea what that is.
As you hear the poor sound quality clip, here we are, another week. It's Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. I'm Travis.
I am Vic.
And I'm rather rowdy tonight. I don't know about you.
You know, I've drank my first drink at about 6 o'clock. I'm kind of buzzed, and I got some things to say. Not necessarily about the movie because I already forgot them all, but I got some other things to say.
Well,
but I am ready to talk about The Thing because it's The Thing, and it's a classic, and if people haven't seen it, then you suck. Get ready to be spoiled, but I'm sure everybody's already seen it except for Gabby.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm upset is that I forgot to get alcohol tonight, and I tried to get into my Maker's Mark because I'm stuck down in the basement, and I can't find anything to open it up with because it's, got that fucking candle seal.
Are you serious, dude? Use your key.
I tried.
Are you serious? Oh
yeah, I think I'm gonna break my teeth off. I'm pretty upset.
Dude, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
All right. So let's continue on with this depressing rundown. No, well, the movie's kind of bleak, so this should be a good time. And when I say bleak, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it. It's one of those movies that's just ominous. But anyway, let's talk about it. We're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing, and I should emphasize that John Carpenter's The Thing because it's far different than the original, which we talked about last night, The Thing from Another World. Kind of funny that's a remake because I don't think too many people think of it as a remake. I know it's a totally different movie, and they're both adaptations of a Who Goes There short story by John W. Campbell. But technically it is a remake as far as movies go. Because John Carpenter was obviously influenced by The Thing from Another World. Anyway, obviously this movie's directed by John Carpenter. It stars Kurt Russell, the man, Keith David, hell fucking guy, Wilford Brimley, a bunch of other people. And stunts for Kurt Russell, I remember at one point in this movie, was by Dick Warlock. How awesome is that? From Halloween 2,
really?
Michael Myers. Yes, sir.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yep. Now, this movie, Vic, it came out on June 25th, 1982, which I find totally fucking weird, considering the movie.
Dude, why do they put most of these out in the summer? Because didn't those come out like July?
I know. I guess they're trying to cool people off who were in the theaters. It didn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I know watching today froze me to death.
I will tell you this. It did not do well at the box office. It had a budget of $15 million, only brought back a little bit over $19 million, $19,629,760. So The Thing, not a huge financial success, really didn't find its ground until, 20 years later or so. Which, again, Vic, one of the big reasons why this movie did not do as well at the box office is a lot of people didn't think it was that great at the time because it came out in 82, same year E.T. came out. So people were wanting this lovable alien, and well, that's not what they fucking got from The Thing, was it?
Not at all. Yeah, definitely the wrong type of alien.
Yep. Well, this movie gets a huge, bigger than any Carpenter movie, if I'm not mistaken, 8.2 on IMDb. Huge fucking rating right there. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
What? Big props from everybody for that one. IMDb community, you're getting this one right, sirs. Okay, so this movie starts off, and in the opening shot, you get an alien spacecraft, which I thought looked pretty good, and it flies through space, enter Earth's atmosphere, and near Antarctica, and it crashes. And it's one of those things where you get that, and then you get The Thing bleeds through the screen, just like in The Thing from Another World, which I thought was cool, a little homage, and I think it's iconic as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's pretty awesome.
All right, so, we're in Antarctica, winter months of 1982, and we've got a 12-man research crew, getting ready for the upcoming winter, and you can kind of see the cabin fever going on here. They're all bored, just doing whatever. Anyway, while they're fucking around here, you get a helicopter from a Norwegian research base that flies in, and basically there's a guy, they're pursuing a husky where they're trying to fucking blow it away, right? They're snipering it and shooting at this dog, and the Americans are trying to talk to these Norwegians whenever they land, and one of them tries to throw a grenade, and it flies backwards, and this retard tries to go dig it up. He fucking blows up along with the helicopter.
Yeah, he's a moron.
Which, Vic, all this comes up in one way or another next week. We'll talk about it again, the Norwegians. But anyway, and then the other guy, he's got the gun. He's the one that's been shooting crazy, and he pretty much is yelling at him in Norwegian, and nobody knows what the fuck he's saying. And he shoots Bennings, and, I'm going to rattle off a lot of names in this, and if you can't keep up, hopefully you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. This guy, Bennings, is the redhead with like a bald head at the same time. He's got a red head. He's kind of got, he looks like Louis C.K. Anyway, he shoots this dude in the left leg, and the camp leader, Gary, Don Moffat, he fucking, he like breaks out the window and shoots the dude right in the fucking head. It was a pretty good shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, that it was.
That dude got shot right through the eye, too. Later on, when they showed the body, there's a fucking bullet hole in the eye. I'm like, God damn. So, like I said, the helicopter got destroyed by the grenade and all that. And the dog, he's taken in as a stray by Clark. And Clark, the guy who plays Clark, and I can't think of his name offhand. If you want to look it up, go for it. But I'm not doing it. He is the same guy who played Stan in Stephen King's It movie. So, a little bit of a horror connection for you there, sir.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's also in My Girl, too. Not that I give a shit, but I just know that's what he was in. While, the doctor and the other scientists, because that's what this is. This is a research base in Antarctica, kind of like the other one, except it was Alaska in that one. Anyway, so they're trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with these Norwegians. And, they weren't on any drugs or anything. And they just want to know what the problem is. And they're like stir crazy, and they're like, they were only here like, I don't know, I think they said 8 weeks, and that's not long enough to go stir crazy. And the black guy's like, nah, what about Palmer? He's only been here 1 day, and look at him. Or he was this way his first day, and Palmer flips him off. I love that scene. It's good shit. And they're like, we're going to go up, and Palmer, who's kind of like, I don't know, I want to say a hippie, or he just doesn't give a shit. And he's like, I'll take you up, Doc, no problem. And they're like, no, you're not going. And Palmer's like, thanks for thinking about it, though. Love that. So anyway, it ends up being McCready, Copper, who's the doctor, and Norris, who's, I don't even know how to explain him. He's a blue sweater guy to me. So they go to investigate Norwegian base. They take the helicopter over there, and everyone's fucking dead. And it's obvious that something's gone on here. And the Norwegians had discovered a crashed UFO and a body not far from it that they had brought back to their base to study. And the reason why they know this is they have these, like, videotapes that are there, and it kind of shows the discovery and all that. And, so along with, as opposed to the thing from another world, we don't really get the scene of them thawing the creature out from the ice in this one. It's pretty much already been done. You know what I mean, Vic?
Yep, no doubt.
So, along with the human bodies, the American team finds that the Norwegian base, the burned and frozen corpse of, like, this twisted creature. It looked like fucking two heads stuck together, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Anyway, you couldn't tell if it was a man or a beast or what the fuck it was, so they bring it back to their base for an autopsy. And, we've got a little mystery on our hands at this point. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Why are these Norwegians nuts? Why is everybody dead? And they bring it back, and Blair's going to do the autopsy on this thing. And Blair is Wilford Brimley. He's the one that is a pretty important character in this whole thing, I think. Anyway, so that night, the new stray husky is locked in with the sled dogs. By the way, meanwhile, when Blair does this autopsy, everything's fine. There's no differences. I mean, it's just like liver, kidney, lungs. I mean, it's just got all the normal shit in it. So there's really nothing weird about it. And that's exactly what's weird. So anyway, that night, the new stray dog or whatever, it's locked in with the other sled dogs. And the other dogs immediately act like, oh, fuck, about this whole thing. They're growling and snarling at it. And but keep in mind, this dog's been walking around the camp all day without being, in the pen with the other dogs. So God knows what's gone on in that time. And, of course, we'll get into what I mean by that here shortly. So the new dog transforms into a fucking monster. I mean, there's no other way to put it, with tentacles, and it's, going apeshit and killing these other dogs. And this part is fucking disturbing, I think. This entire dog scene. What do you think, Vic?
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I mean, like, and I listened to the commentary with Carpenter, and he talked about how uncomfortable it made people at the theaters to watch this. Because, people love dogs, and you're fucking getting dogs blown away and pretty much eaten by this thing. It is fucked up. Even today, and I've seen this movie 1,000 times now, and this fucking scene is still pretty repulsive to me. But anyway,
I've seen it a good amount of times as well, and yeah, it's still pretty messed up.
Yeah. So anyway, McCready, who is Kurt Russell, he hears the sounds of the thing making this sound, and he immediately responds by sounding the fire alarm, and it wakes up the entire camp, who converge on the dog kennel, where they see this fucking dog-like creature like eating the other sled dogs. Meanwhile, by the way, before he hit the fire alarm, Clark had noticed what was going on, and he runs back to McCready, and he's like, I don't know what it is, but it's weird, and it's pissed off, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's the greatest line in almost any movie ever right there.
Yep.
So, and it's funny, because I always thought Kurt Russell uttered that line, but it was actually Clark, the My Girl 2 guy. So, anyway, these dudes all shoot at this thing with their guns. And the thing, it's kind of reacting to it, but it's sure as fuck not killing it. So McCready tells Childs to go get the flamethrower. Childs is Keith David. And this guy's like, what? You know what I mean? Who the fuck needs a flamethrower? But he does, and I don't know why they have a flamethrower anyway, but they do. And he goes and gets it, and he fucking burns this thing. He dicks around for a minute before he does it, and you pretty much find out that fire's kind of the only thing that's going to work on this creature. And so now they do an autopsy on the thing's remains. And basically, the story here is, just like the original story, the thing is an alien organism that basically imitates other life forms by attacking and either digesting or dissolving them and reshaping them into the, image of the animal or person it kills. So it's kind of a weird fucking process how this thing does. Basically, it's assimilating people, and it's like a virus. So, and like all viruses, it can spread. And already, Blair's got that in his mind. And you kind of get the scenes about that, and we'll get into that. But, like, Blair sits down with Clark, and Blair's asking him, how long were you with those dogs? And Clark was like, about an hour and a half, and he's like, why? And you can tell Blair just doesn't fucking trust him because he's been with the dogs all day,
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't trust him.
Well, the following day, McCready flies with two of the crew members to the crash site where the Norwegians found the UFO. After watching a videotape of the discovery of something very nice, the Norwegians used thermal charges to blow up the ice on the spaceship. They finally hit the spaceship in an open crater and haul themselves down to look around, and they end up near the crash site. And they find a block of the ice cap missing where the thing was discovered and chopped out of the ice by the Norwegians, which, again, kind of throw back to the thing from another world. Anyway, and they take some samples of the crashed spaceship as well as some of the ice from around the spaceship, and it's fucking, what's his name? God damn it, I said his name earlier. I said he was Blue Sweater Guy. Well, Blue Sweater Guy, he estimates that the alien spaceship had crashed and had been tuned in the ice for about 100,000 years, which is pretty interesting. to think about, because this thing's been around for a long-ass time just waiting. So McCready and the others, they return to their base. The carnage and shit really starts now, because